Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words, become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're entering the world of social skills, and I'm going to be giving you 3 underrated ways in order to build rapport with someone. Let's cut straight to the chase. Let's start off with the first one. The first rapport hack is to show someone a different side of you. There was this one period where I was having a coworker from Chicago train me while I was working in Tampa. Now, this guy was cool, but he was a little annoying too. He was cool because he was one of those guys that would be a great teacher. He was very patient with me as I was trying to learn how to use the different tools, softwares, and such. And I felt as though he was guiding me the right way. But the annoying thing with this guy was that he talked a little too much, right? And he would talk about himself a lot. Whenever I would try to get 1 to 2 words in, he'd cut me off and talk more about himself. As a couple of months went on by, I got news that this fellow, whose name is Neil, from Chicago, he was going to be moving to Tampa. Me and him were going to be expanding our team in the Tampa region. So I had to be seeing this guy even more now. When he moved to Tampa, what happened was he was exactly the way that he was in Chicago. He just kept yapping and yapping away. Initially, the different people on our floor loved Neil. They loved his brash Chicago personality in Tampa, and they felt as though that I should like Neil too. But the thing is, these guys have just been seeing Neil for 2 weeks. I've been training with him for months. You'll get used to Neil to a point where his mystique wears off. It got to a point one day where he just kept cutting me off to a point where I got annoyed, and I was not talking to him unless he talked to me first. 1 week goes on by, and me and Neil, we get sent to a part in Florida to get trained. We're supposed to take a train to get trained. So we're basically taking this train 3 hours away from Tampa. And in this train ride, I noticed something. I noticed that Neil is not saying that much. Instead, that very brash personality is beginning to be different. He actually seems shy in the train ride. And throughout this training session that we had for the weekend, plenty of times he was letting me take the lead. He was in the back burner. He was allowing me to introduce him to the different folks in the training place. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. This actually seems like a completely different guy than the brash personality that I know. And when I saw him acting like that, where he was somewhat shy and more reserved, and he was giving more of the power to me, I started to have more of a rapport with Neil because I noticed that I didn't fully know the guy. I made a really quick judgment about him, but seeing his other side, I was like, there's still a lot more to know. So you can also apply something like this in regards to your life. Maybe you're someone who's a little too talkative at certain times, but you're not always talkative. And maybe you were very talkative in the beginning of the interactions because you're trying to make a strong impression with the other person. But later on, allow them to see the softer side, the part that listens more, and you could activate what I call strategic shyness. That's a topic for another time. Another way to do this is, let's say you're Mr. Macho. You have a great business. You look very good. You're a very social individual. To the other person, you seem bulletproof. Every now and then, if you could talk about some of your losses, you don't want to overdo it to a point where you're giving a potential snake info and intel in regards to you. But every now and then you're sharing losses that are already public record, but this particular fellow doesn't know about. If you could show a different side to you, suddenly you boost rapport And this other person feels as though they thought they knew you, but they don't. And since they don't know you like that, they want to invest more in the interaction. So that's the first underrated way in order to build rapport, which is to show someone a different side to you. The second way to build rapport is to tolerate someone's off days. People nowadays are very stressed. They're getting a lot of info from different parts of the world. They have different expectations to meet, different people's desires to fulfill, their desires to fulfill. Bottom line, they're very stressed. And every now and then what happens is that a person who, for the most part, is chill, suddenly one day is short with you. They're showing some aggression that wasn't there before. And it's very easy to fight fire with fire. Very easy to get that aggression and return the same energy. But the hack is to allow them to. Okay? Allow them to get the anger off. It's not personal. It's just that they're getting a lot of their emotions and targeting it on someone that they're cool with. Now, mind you, word of caution, this is not something that should be made into a habit by any means, where you're tolerating disrespect. This one is more so, okay, this guy is normally a very stand-up guy, but today he's acting out of the norm. Okay, whatever, I'll let him have his moment today. Okay, maybe another day or so, but if this keeps on up, I'll let him know. But surprisingly, it doesn't keep on up. 2 days goes on by and he's back to his normal self. This guy was having an off day, but now he's having an on day. And they're capable of building rapport with you in this scenario because you tolerated that off day. You weren't one of those people that just got up and ran. And now in the future, when you have an off day, in the back of their mind, they're going to be like, well, this guy was there for me, so I will now be there for them. That's how it works out in an ideal world. It doesn't always work out like this, but this is a sleeper way in order to build rapport. You tolerate someone on their off day. And the third way in order to build rapport, highly underrated, is to tag people in memes. See, I'm about to sound like an old man right now, but back in my days, the version of tagging people in memes was to build an inside joke with them. When we build an inside joke together, we create this insulation from the rest of the world, and our rapport just skyrockets. But the modern version of that is tagging someone in memes. And by memes, it doesn't only have to be funny material. It could be one of those optical illusion stuff. You ever seen that one picture where there's a dress? Some people are like, that's a black and blue dress. Other people are like, no, it's white and gold. Well, you could tag the person in the meme and be like, what color do you see? It could be one of those motivation memes and such. The reason that this is so powerful is because not only are these individuals, let's say, talking to you on the phone, meeting you face to face, now they're seeing you from a completely different angle. And you get to understand someone's personality deeper in terms of what type of content that they consume. So this is underrated. Many people are going to apply the first two tips, but they're going to sleep on this one. But this is a great way in order to skyrocket rapport, and it allows the other person to see a different side of you, which is one of the other tips that I mentioned in this video. Recap, the different underrated ways in order to build rapport with someone. Number one is to show someone a different side of you. Number two is to tolerate someone on their off day. And number three is to tag someone on memes, and hopefully they tag you back. So if you enjoyed today's talk, be sure to get more practical insights into social skills in my book, The Charisma King. In this book, you will learn what exactly is charisma, how to ask better questions, how to create small talk in an effective manner, how to use humor and be funny, plus plenty of other topics. Check out the Charisma King in the link in the description box, the pinned comment, or go on ArmaniTalks.com and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.